Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.
With films, the reward is to be able to do things without any real life repercussions. And that for me is a thrill that I don't need anybody to reward me for. That's totally mine. All actors I see a parody of, but I have never seen a parody of myself.
Randeep, it's always such a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you.
First of all, congratulations on Extraction, which
Thank you so much.
Such a massive hit that they're already talking about the sequel.
Yes.
Amazing.
No, it has been amazing, yeah.
And it's sort of been the #1 movie. It's been, I read some incredible numbers. That must feel very good, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the middle of this movie that dragged on for a long, long time. So I did not do much work for the past 3 years before this movie happened. And everybody else was working. Now everybody else is sitting at home and my movie is out, and that too on such a big scale. So that's just life, you know. One cannot be glad that it came out at this time, because it is a terrible time in our, human history. And but in all this negativity, in all this, downturn life that we have, I think this is a good relief. It's a good, it takes your mind off what's going on. The movie is very fast paced, and it kind of takes you on a ride. And I'm glad that we are able to provide this relief to people, even if it's for 2 hours.
You know, Randeep, I just coincidentally, before I saw Extraction a few days before that, I was watching Monsoon Wedding for a project that I'm working on. It's such a fine film. It's such a lovely movie.
It is.
It's just a beautiful film. And I was thinking about you, and I was thinking, what an amazing journey this has been. And I remember last year, Randeep, you spoke to Film Companion and you said that I always wanted to be a better artist. I never wanted to be a richer artist. Do you feel that you've accomplished that in some way?
Since Monsoon Wedding, I definitely think so. But I don't think I've really reached anywhere. Every movie is a different challenge. Every movie is, gives you new things to learn and to do and to experience. And before every movie starts, I feel that now everybody's going to find out that I can't act finally. And that, brings me back to Monsoon Wedding. And then I work hard at it. I have sleepless nights about it. And then you just go do it. And then you don't know, because you're just an actor in a movie. Everything else has to fall into place. And you keep your fingers crossed. And it works out all right. And you get another job to do and another work. And you go do it to the best of your ability. So this cycle keeps going on. And fortunately or unfortunately for me, I've had many breaks in between for 2 years, 3 years. And they have been for various reasons. But I think every time that happens to me, whatever is filled in inside that you experience away from the film sets and away from the actual work, it kind of pours into the next work. And, it happens because once upon a time in Mumbai was a similar experience for me. I had not worked for many years before that. And then that came around. And then also that had a similar effect to what this has had, although this is on a much larger scale. But for me as an artist, so it has been a journey of ups and downs and total unsurety and total, like you leaping in the dark all the time. And I think that's what probably has held me in good stead, that I have not just done what somebody has liked. I've always tried to approach it the way it should. I feel it should be approached, with the help of the director's guidance. And really given to the directors. Like I have worked with some 18 first-time directors, including Sam for Extraction. So it really has been a journey in good faith and just trying to not get caught.
You really, Randeep, you have imposter syndrome. You think people are going to figure out you can't act, really?
Yes, yes. I feel before every project, and I don't know. It really feels like that every time, and that for me is the thrill because I'm probably trying to do okay, understand the milieu and the director's point of view, and what I can bring from my own personal experience, and it is somewhere you've never been. It's not just the technique of it, it's also where you're trying to reach in your thoughts and stuff like that. So every time it's been a very new experience, and one has gone like, oh, you know, damn, this time.
Tell me, so Extraction, of course, is big global movie, big global hit, didn't get the best reviews, right? Uh, but you get audience around the world. You get to work with Sam, you get to work with Chris Hemsworth. Do you, when you're signing a project, know why you're going in? Are you very clear about, I'm doing this for this reason?
I was very clear that I was doing a film where very big Hollywood people are involved, and it's going to be an action film. If you go look for a story of Lunchbox in a movie which relies so heavily on the physicality and the macho or the fighter in you, you can only fill it in with so much of the other stuff. It has to move quickly, and it has to have enough breaks in between the relentless action and very catchy action to just give enough of a breather and then move on to the next set. So that was a bit unfair when people are looking for that kind of a story in this kind of an action film. So that was never a concern for me because it was a movie about, I saw a lot of story in it. Like it was a movie about father and sons. It was a movie about emotional desperation, about family, about loss, and finally loyalties. You know, there was a lot in it for me.
Tell me, the other thing, of course, that I keep hearing about you is the prep. Okay, the stories are sort of, legend about you sort of spending a month learning the cello to do one song in Jism 2, or
Oh
spending
God!
2.5 years for the Battle of Saragarhi, which eventually never got made. I mean, you grew your beard, you had long hair, you said, I'm trying to sort of grow the Sikh in me. But Randeep, the rigor you put into a role is not matched by the reward. Does this ever cause frustration? Do you ever get angry?
I some years ago I used to feel somewhat like that, but I can only do that much. I can only do my job to the best of my ability, and the way I feel it should be do. I do not burden the other co-actors or the director with it. It's my own choice, and the result is: have I been able to accomplish what I went about it? The rewards from others, yes, they do matter. The Indian Film Awards definitely don't matter. But generally, the appreciation that I get from people who have seen that work about me, even if it is not about the film, has always been very encouraging. And so I don't have any qualms about it. I mean, I did do my best. It's the movie's destiny. And I feel if you keep following that, like I was reading somewhere, what's waiting for you, you will find you, right? But you don't have to, you cannot lose yourself. So that's kind of a thing that I have gone about. Even if it's a small thing, I would like to do it properly. It's also the kind of tutelage I've had under Mr. Shah and the theater discipline, maybe. And always I stopped doing theater because of that, because it was, I could not bring myself to that point every night. But with films, the reward is to be able to do things without any real life repercussions. And that for me is a thrill that I don't need anybody to reward me for. That's totally mine, you know. So I'm fine with it.
So you never
I'm
feel
fine with
कि
it.
यार इतनी मेहनत मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ? वो कभी नहीं होता.
नहीं यार, इतनी मेहनत क्यों कर रहा हूँ, आपको बोला तो था पकड़ा जाऊंगा। नहीं, और उस मेहनत और करोगे क्या आप यार। मेरे को याद है, मैं पिक्चर आई वाज डूइंग दिस मूवी कॉल्ड डी,
Yeah, wonderful film.
the factory, and that was I was in and as that character. And on an aside, I lost ambition after that role, because that's what you would dream to be in a movie, in and as. I got it in your first film. I don't know what to do. Every other role seemed smaller. So apart from that, I was doing D, and one day, like, you turn up on set. I was just gave a shot, and I could go try to. I opened this on the door. It was written artist, and I was like, "Are you? Are you just an imposter who just got lucky? Are you an artist?" So I went back to the director and I said, "Hey, man, did I?" He said, "No, no, you were doing fine. You were doing fine." So from then onwards, I've always gone that if you like a dancer is an artist, a painter is an artist, a singer is an artist. How much riyaz do they do? So what do you do as an actor? Going to the gym is not the riyaz. That's just an aside. And I have purposely not built myself to that level that I only get that kind of roles, because I like the variety. I've gone up to that in a movie called Do Lafzon Ki Kahani, got all hugged up, and then lost it all for Sarabjit, and that was very sad. But hey, I said, either you keep playing that guy, or if you want to really enjoy your work, just have a body and a mindset where you can really work towards things and feel like, okay, I've earned this, man.
Tell me, you're very sorted about what you do. I remember reading some interview where somebody asked you about, do you ever get frustrated that you aren't more successful or a bigger star? And you said the world doesn't owe you anything. Were
It
you
doesn't.
always this sorted, or has it taken time to come to this place?
No, I wasn't this sorted at all. I thought the world owed me the whole world. I have gone through all that. And over a period of time, you realize that it is your own imposition of your opinion about yourself, which when not adhered to, creates a sense of insecurity and a sense of not getting enough. But if you just go by that, okay, if you accept this is where, I had a long struggle with myself about wanting to do the kind of work and sticking to that, to most of my 30 something films that I have done. It has been very hard. There is a lot of frustration that builds up in you. Delays of movies, delays of releases, bad releases, and all those things. Till you come to a point and you say, okay, either you can keep struggling with it, or you can say, hey, I'm going to do my best. The rest is up to you. And obviously, I never cared about, it went from choice. It went from just the role to the film, then to the role in the film. And, so the choices also change like that. So in both personal and artistic ways, it is not the way I always was. And of course, the Sikhi part of it has really, really helped me. The spirituality of Sikhism, the sense of giving. There is a line in the Ardas which says, Dekh ke andit kita. Matlab, you might have suffered atrocities. You saw that, but you just,
You looked away.
You look away and you move on, because if you cannot carry that with you, right? So all those things over the period of time, I've been like almost 20 years, I've been making a living as an actor. So all those things come into you learn those things.
Okay, last question. I also saw in an interview, you said you're in this lockdown, you're working on your imagination. What does that mean?
I think there are two parts to acting, imagination and observation. Since observation is absolutely zero, so the other part is the imagination, where you imagine different things like objects and situations and places, and you try and believe in them, and that's basically what the job is.
How do you work on that though? Like, what should aspiring actors be doing? Tell us.
Start from imagining objects. singular objects, and then you can go. It's something I've learned from Nasir Bhai and all that. Basically, you have to imagine things, like you have to imagine it and believe in it. And how do you do that? It's common sense, but it takes some time to get to it. Some people naturally have it and they cannot explain it. Some people learn it. Some people naturally have it and learn it and keep experiencing it, which is this guy. So it's a long thing. I don't think I could just explain it to you. But it's imagining things. All acting is imaginary, responding to imaginary stimulus. That's all there is to it. I mean, there is a camera there. There are so many people. So there you are doing your thing.
Do you do that every day? Is it like a riyaz?
It's like a riyaz. I used to do it all the time in the beginning. Then slowly, I've not done it for many years. But then this lockdown, and I found, hey, what do I do? So I said, hey, I used to do this. So I started doing little things, go back to the basics. And then I found out that I am not so good at it. So I started doing it more. So
And what do we see you in next, Randeep?
I was doing a comedy with this guy Balli directing with me and Ileana the Cruz, based in Haryana. We were shooting in Karnal when this lockdown happened. So that was just 10 days away from completing. I did Radhe, where I play a villain for the first time for Salman. And that was, my work was complete. I think that movie is just about 3 days away from completion. That was going to come out on Eid.
Yeah.
And then I did a movie, kind of a thriller about one guy in a car, which is called Rat on the Highway, which I shot in Scotland. So that's also complete. So let's see which one comes out next. I don't know.
Nice. And until
But
then,
they're all different from each other, which is
right.
yeah.
Well, you're not an actor we've ever been able to slot, and how wonderful is that?
You know, I was asking somebody. I said about Irfan only. You know, I said, yeah, they're copying Irfan also now. So all actors I see a parody of, but I have never seen a parody of myself, which is, I don't know, good or bad.
Well, good luck. Hang in there, and cannot wait to see you in whatever unfolds next.
Thank you, Anupama. Thank you. Always lovely talking to you.
Thanks
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.